Tonight, angry protests spread across the United States over George Floyd's death as the policeman involved is charged. 2 coronavirus clusters spread in Victoria, a primary school being deep cleaned. A twist to the Ruby Princess scandal with passengers warned about a new dangerous disease. And an Elon Musk rocket being tested for a mission to the moon explodes.
This is 7 News with Angela Cox.
Good afternoon. Angry protests have spread to cities right across the United States, with walls of police facing off against protesters outraged at the death of George Floyd during an arrest in Minneapolis. That city has erupted in flames as police try to enforce a curfew to end the looting and violence. Derek Chauvin, the sacked police officer who had his knee pressed against Mr. Floyd's neck for more than 5 minutes, has now been charged with murder and manslaughter. US Bureau Chief Ashley Mullaney is in Minneapolis where the race riots began. Ash, it's been another night of violence there.
Yeah, this is the 4th night of protests here in Minneapolis, and we are once again seeing carnage on the streets. Tonight, in the last few hours, we saw this post office go up in flames. The firefighters have it's only just become safe enough for the firefighters to turn up and try and put out the flames. The National Guard moving in to push back protesters. As you can see, there are now Humvees blocking every street to get into this 5th precinct area where we are right now. We heard from the governor just a short time ago, and he said that a lot of the men and women that are on the front lines at the moment, the resources here, they have served overseas, and they are likening that to the urban battleground that we have seen in Minneapolis today. What they are not used to is just so much destruction, people that are just smashing up every building they can see, and so much confusion on the ground here at the moment. We saw those state troopers move in and at 5 o'clock this morning turn on the press, arresting a CNN reporter live on air.
I'm sorry?
You're under arrest.
Okay. Do you mind telling me why I'm under arrest, sir? Why am I under arrest, sir?
Officer, CNN, he's on the air right now.
Ash, the police officer involved has now been charged with murder. It doesn't seem to have been enough to end the violence.
Yeah, there was some thought that perhaps that arrest would quell some of the rage in the streets in Minneapolis. That hasn't been the case. We have just seen these protests reignite throughout the day, and so much anger. These protesters saying that they want to see all 4 officers involved in that incident be arrested. But Derek Chauvin, so far the first to be arrested, he is facing a charge of 3rd-degree murder and manslaughter over the death of George Floyd. The protesters, though, saying that's not enough. They want to see all 4 officers in custody, and until then, they are vowing there will be more chaos on the streets. Ange?
OK, Ash Mullaney, thank you for your brave reporting, and please stay safe. A coronavirus cluster continues to grow among staff at the Ridges Hotel on Swanston Street in Melbourne's CBD. It has been used to quarantine returned travellers from overseas, and there are more cases linked to a Keilor Downs family, including a primary school student who attended school this week. Jodie Lee has more.
It was a false start to Term 2 for students here at Holy Eucharist Primary in St Albans. After returning to campus on Tuesday, Grade 2 students will now need to quarantine at home for 2 weeks after one of their peers tested positive to coronavirus. The child was in close contact with a known family cluster in the Keilor Downs area, the western suburbs of Melbourne quickly emerging as a COVID-19 hotspot in Victoria. There were 11 new cases of coronavirus in Victoria overnight. 4 are connected to that family cluster. 4 are staff at Ridges on Swanston Street. 3 are under investigation.
We've clearly got some hotspots in Victoria right now. We're managing a couple of these outbreaks. A single case can lead to 10, 11 cases in a household. That's the reality of a very infectious virus.
To combat the growing number of cases in Melbourne's western suburbs, a new drive-through testing clinic has opened in Keilor. A number of restrictions are set to ease here in Victoria on Monday, but the state government is pleading with Victorians to remember that social distancing measures still apply.
There have been no new coronavirus cases reported across the rest of the country, including New South Wales, which had 0 cases for the first time in almost 3 weeks. But a new scandal has broken out about the Ruby Princess. Passengers have now been told they may have been exposed to tuberculosis. Cameron Price has more.
Passengers that travelled on the Ruby Princess were contacted by New South Wales Health this morning to notify them of a new infectious warning from their cruise. A case of tuberculosis after a crew member that is being treated for coronavirus here at the RPA hospital tested positive to TB last week.
It is possible that they were infectious during the time that they were on the cruise, and so for that reason we're screening people with prolonged close contact who are on the cruise with this person.
For Les and Di Smith, who are on the much-maligned cruise, it's just another thing to worry about, with the illness a bacterial infection of the lungs, contagious and potentially serious.
The gift that keeps on giving, you know. We did this for Les's birthday. It was his birthday present. So goodness knows what he's going to do for mine.
New South Wales Health, though, have been quick to ease any fears, saying those most at risk are fellow crewmates and hospital workers with close contacts now undergoing screening.
A class action over the Robodebt debacle will continue despite the federal government vowing to repay over $700 million. Victims want compensation. Political reporter Taylor Aiken is live for us in Canberra. Taylor, take us through this case.
Well, Ange, victims wrongly pursued by the government's embattled Robodebt scheme say it's much more than just about money, adding the whole process caused unnecessary stress. Now, this all relates to a system used by the government to identify welfare recipients who had been overpaid. The system used a computer to automatically send out debt notices after matching records from Centrelink to the tax office. However, the debt notice was often incorrect, pursuing people who in fact didn't owe anything. Yesterday, Government Services Minister Stuart Robert revealed the government would be waiving 470,000 individual debts, refunding almost $700 million. But class action lawyers Gordon Legal say they should be entitled to interest and even compensation.
$720 million refunds some of the money that's been repaid. By the time they've made proper restitution, paid back interest and paid damages, the Commonwealth Government will have had to pay these people well over $1 billion.
The government says it has already made the necessary changes to the scheme and will continue to recover any outstanding debts, saying it's critical to ensuring the integrity of Australia's welfare system. The refunds will start in July, but victims caught up in this scheme say they also want an official apology. Anne?
OK, thanks so much, Taylor. Crash investigators are trying to work out the series of events that led to the death of a man near Bendigo in Victoria. It's believed the 40-year-old had argued with a taxi driver before getting out of the cab and being hit by another car. Cameron Bode has more.
A dispute over a taxi fare has led to the death of a man here on the Calder Highway just south of Bendigo. It's believed a 40-year-old man was a passenger in the taxi travelling from Ravenswood north to Kangaroo Flat here when he got into a dispute with the taxi driver. It was over the fare. Now, the taxi driver has then pulled his vehicle over to the side of the highway and the passenger has got out of the taxi. A short time after that, that 40-year-old man has been struck by a second vehicle, a white Commodore, which was also travelling north on the Calder. That man has been killed in that impact. Both the Commodore and the taxi have pulled up onto the side of the highway about 500 metres further north. They've then called 000. Police have then come to the scene.
We're still a little bit unclear at this point as to why he exited the taxi as he did and found himself in the lanes of the Calder Freeway. Both drivers stopped a short distance north of the scene and both are assisting us with our inquiries at this time.
Police investigators are still exploring the culpability of both drivers in this situation. The next of kin of the man killed in this incident have also been contacted. Samples have been taken for testing for drugs and alcohol for both drivers.
The captain of the ship at the centre of a major clean-up off the New South Wales coast has now been charged. Jess Mummy is at the port of Brisbane. Jess, the ship has been detained there.
It has, Ange, until the insurer of APL England can cough up $22 million in surety after at least 50 unsecured containers fell off the vessel off the coast of New South Wales nearly a week ago now. But last night, police and maritime safety authorities boarded the vessel to charge the captain with multiple offences. It's linked to marine pollution and poorly loaded cargo on the ship, which is what we have seen. And now late this afternoon, we have seen them start this very delicate and dangerous operation to begin removing the rest of those crushed containers. That is expected to take some time using cranes. We've had emergency services here as well as the overall cleanup that will take months. We will learn more about what exactly happened out at sea when the captain fronts court here in Brisbane on Monday. Ange?
Okay, thank you, Jess. There's been an embarrassing setback for Elon Musk's SpaceX company on the eve of a new launch attempt to send astronauts to the International Space Station. A Starship prototype has exploded on a launch pad during engine testing. Amelia Brace has more.
And this incident was unrelated to tomorrow's mission here in Florida. This involved the Starship, which SpaceX hopes will be able to land on the moon by 2024. It was about a minute into a test flight when an explosion occurred. It's unclear what caused the malfunction, but there did appear to be an engine leak. This is the fourth time this particular prototype has exploded in similar circumstances and is an unwelcome distraction on the eve of SpaceX's second attempt at launching its Crew Dragon manned spacecraft. Elon Musk's company hoping to become the first private enterprise to send humans into orbit. At this stage, there is a 50-50 chance that weather will allow this launch to go ahead tomorrow. If it's once again scrubbed, they'll try again the next day.
Still to come in 7 News, why President Trump has announced he's cutting all ties with the World Health Organization. And good news for Australians wanting to go on a holiday or visit relatives in Greece. That's next.
In 9 days, they will arrive. I have searched for a new breed of housemate to play my game. Who will be the last one standing? I am Big Brother, and I'll see you next Monday, 7:30.
Make a bold statement in your home with a long-lasting quality floor from Harvey Norman. From pet-friendly carpets to durable timber flooring, you'll be spoiled for choice. With innovative products from the world's leading brands exclusive to Harvey Norman. Let our experts help you find the perfect fit for your home. We can provide the complete service, from measure and quote to installation. Or find the perfect rug from our huge range, including exclusive collections. With 60 months interest-free available, talk to our experts today. Harvey Norman, your flooring specialists.
Go!
Did someone say KFC?
I don't care. I love it.
Are you ready to quit smoking? Ready to start tasting again? Ready to stop coughing? Are you ready to get your breath back? And start saving money? When you quit smoking, things improve quickly. When you quit, you win. Get the top 10 tips to quit successfully at icanquit.com.au or to talk to a qualified counsellor. Call Quitline on 13 78 48.
What am I looking forward to? Well, I just really want what I have today.
The more life changes, the more you know what's important. MLC.
Now I need to find an aged care worker, someone to pick up groceries, and a nurse to assist me with medication.
Mabel has over 10,000 independent care and support workers ready to help you. Find your people at mabel.com.au.
What can you get at Kogan.com? You can make a family, bake a family, escape your family, protect your family, destroy your family, entertain your family? Oof, maybe not. Get it quick smart at Kogan.com.
A woman has died after being stabbed multiple times by a man believed to be her former partner in the Western Sydney suburb of Bidwell. The victim, aged in her 20s, was taken to Westmead Hospital around 1 o'clock today but couldn't be saved. She suffered knife wounds to her chest and back. The man who attacked her died after turning the knife on himself. Donald Trump has announced he is cutting all ties with the World Health Organization, saying it's controlled by China. The US is still in the grip of the pandemic, with more than 100,000 deaths from COVID-19. Paul Kadak has more.
Good evening, Angela. For a couple of months now, Donald Trump has been criticising China and the World Health Organization over the coronavirus outbreak, and today he announced punishment for both of them. He's accused China of pressuring the WHO to, quote, mislead the world when the virus was first discovered, and says the organisation failed to make reforms that the US had demanded.
We will be today terminating our relationship with the World Health Organization and redirecting those funds to other worldwide and deserving urgent global public health needs. The world needs answers from China on the virus. We must have transparency. Countless lives have been taken and profound economic hardship has been inflicted all around the globe.
He's also announced America's first major response to China bringing in a national security law that clamps down on Hong Kong. Donald Trump says the territory can no longer be considered autonomous from China, that Beijing has breached its treaty obligations, and so the US will start ending the special treatment Hong Kong gets. He says certain Chinese nationals will now be banned from entering the US, and there'll be sanctions against Chinese officials involved in eroding Hong Kong's freedom. And people travelling to Hong Kong will now be warned of the increased danger of surveillance and punishment there by Chinese state security, escalating what has already been described as a new Cold War brewing between the two nations. Angela?
Greece is about to welcome back tourists, but is only accepting visitors from 29 countries. The Greek death toll has been relatively low, with 175 coronavirus deaths. From the 15th of June, people from countries that have controlled the virus will be allowed to visit. Australia and New Zealand made the list, along with European countries like Denmark, Finland and Germany. British tourists will remain banned as the UK struggles to stem the spread of coronavirus. Time for sport now with Jim Wilson, and the Warriors and Dragons take centre stage in the NRL.
Yes, Ange, and the Warriors were very good. Good afternoon to you. Good afternoon, everyone. Coming up, highlights from Gosford as the NRL's restart continues. Also, the Cowboys flex their muscle against the Titans, while the Premiers are too good for the Rabbitohs as the spotlight intensifies on Latrell Mitchell at fullback. And who tops sports money earners around the world? We'll tell you next.
Grand Final Week is here. Their 60s house is about to be restored and reinvented.
Can you imagine what it's going to look like inside? Nope. Are you ready? Let's do it.
The 1960s is reimagined. A transformation so stunning it will leave them speechless.
Oh my God!
Grand Final Week begins Sunday at 7.
If you're struggling to balance work, life and family, you need to shake it up. Ensure Health Shakes help you get the nutrition you need to help your body build strength from within, with a prebiotic and antioxidants to support a healthy immune system, calcium and protein for muscle and bone health. Put more balance in your work-life balance. Shake it up with Ensure.
Go on.
At Devondale, we believe great milk comes from cows that graze free.
When life gives you messiness, Godfrey's Stocktake sale gives you cleanliness. Ecovac D-Bot 600 Robot, $299, save $100. iVac Steam Mop, $59, save $40. Godfrey's Cleanliness.
At Apia, we're all about possibilities. So if you're driving less, we offer comprehensive motor insurance with a drive less, pay less discount. Apia. Get set, go. Call 13 50 50.
Good, I've missed it.
What can you get at Kogan.com? You can order pizza, cook pizza, wear pizza, hug pizza, swim with pizza, sleep with pizza. Okay, too much pizza. Get it quick smart at Kogan.com.
Welcome back, everyone. The Warriors' great sacrifice to save the NRL season is really worth it for now. Their round 3 clash started with a thank you gift from the Dragons.
Dusty can't come up with it. Picked up there by Tanua Brown.
All the time the Warriors have spent in quarantine in Tamworth, then their Terrigal base on the New South Wales Central Coast has worked. They didn't make a mistake for 75 minutes and claimed an 18-0 victory at their temporary home ground in Gosford. It's the first time they've held a team scoreless since 2014. For the Dragons, they're now winless from 3 games and the pressure is well and truly on coach Paul McGregor. Last night, a sensational James Tedesco led the Roosters to a belated first win of their title defence, 28-12 over the Rabbitohs. Latrell Mitchell's move to fullback remains the big talking point for everyone except Master Coach Wayne Bennett.
Well, you guys have worked that out. You've got all the opinions on him. I've got a different opinion to what most of you got in the room here.
Victor Radley is facing a 1-game ban, but Jared Warrior-Hargreaves escapes with a fine. Now in Townsville, with the rampaging runs of Jason Taumalolo and the deft touch of Valentine Holmes, the Cowboys inflicted the Titans 14th straight defeat, 36 points to 6. To the AFL, and Jesse Hogan's return to football is ramping up. The Dockers star forward stepped away from the game in January to focus on his mental health, but is now a confirmed traveller with the team to their Gold Coast hub.
Integrated into the group really well. He seems in a really good frame of mind. He's really invested in his own program and our program, and seems really to be building the connection within the group really well.
Now, Monday looms as a crucial day as he joins in the main group in a match simulation training session. Trainers Gai Waterhouse and Adrian Bott had good reason to celebrate at Doomben in Brisbane this afternoon. Boom 3-year-old colt Dawn Passage was too classy in the Fred Best Classic for his 3rd victory in a row.
Dawn Passage in front, 100 left to go, holding them safely at bay, and the Stradbroke starters locked and loaded. Dawn Passage beat home.
So impressive. Gai will now set Dawn Passage for next Saturday's Group 1 Stradbroke handicap at Eagle Farm. The Australian Motorcycle Grand Prix is the latest sporting COVID casualty. Riders have started returning to the track for practice in Barcelona, but the Phillip Island round set for October 25 has been scrapped along with the British Grand Prix. The MotoGP season is yet to start, with a proposal to begin in July. For the very first time, Roger Federer is the highest earning sports person in the world. The 38-year-old Swiss maestro is the first tennis player to top the Forbes rich list since it began 30 years ago. Now, last year, Roger earned the equivalent of 160 million Australian dollars. That's in 1 year, everyone, with 150 million of that in endorsements. Soccer superstars Cristiano Ronaldo, Lionel Messi and Neymar are next on the list, before NBA king LeBron James. Daniel Ricciardo's the only Aussie on the list at number 48. Poor old Dan. He only earned $44 million last year. Roger Federer, I mean, what can you say? Can you believe, his prize money last year, Ange, wasn't that great, but gee, he made up for it in endorsements, $160 million in 2019.
It's pretty impressive. I would have thought he would have made it to number 1 before, but yeah.
No, it's amazing. First time a tennis player's actually been to number 1, so well done, Roger.
Yeah, good stuff. Thanks, Tim.
Thanks, Ange.
Still to come in 7 News, we'll have all your weather details right around the country.
Tonight, go bonkers for Wonka.
Wonka, wonkity wonka bonkers. He's absolutely bonkers.
It's gonna be scrumptiddly-umptious.
Wonka, Wonka the Wonka. I can't take much more of this.
Gene Wilder in the sweetest family classic.
You're going to love this.
Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory. Tonight.
I love that Australia has these amazing extremes. Even the harshest places have these beautiful natural surfaces. And those matte surfaces, how they respond to light, the effect that creates, It's incredible to photograph. It's the same with Colorbond's steel mat. Strong, enduring yet subtle in its beauty.
The funnest planet in the universe. Suzuki is the funnest cars on Earth. Therefore, Suzukis are the best cars in the universe.
What can you get at Kogan.com? You can order pizza, cook pizza, wear pizza, hug pizza, swim with pizza, sleep with pizza. Okay, too much pizza. Get it quick smart at Kogan.com.
You wash loads, but do you ever wash your washing machine? Every load leaves behind grime and, what's that smell? Pino Clean Washing Machine Cleaner removes 99.9% of germs, leaving it clean and fresh for longer. It's not clean, unless it's Pino Clean.
This year has been hard for all of us. Just imagine how much harder it is for homeless and vulnerable Australians.
When you donate to Mission Australia, you're investing a seed of hope in Australia's most vulnerable. There's never been a more important time to support them. Donate now.
While we're all having nights in, make yours a big night in. Because this year you could win up to $8,000 worth of prizes from a huge range. Woolworths Big Night In. There's a new winner every day.
Australia's quirkiest race meet has gone ahead under rather different circumstances. The Outback Camel Cup was run without the crowds, but proved just as competitive, setting a cracking pace. There were 3 heats, 2 finals and a new champion. In its 9th year, the Cup went digital, with everything streamed online. Time now for a quick check of the weather on the satellite. A cold front moving over South Australia is generating gusty wind, showers and the odd storm, while a high is driving onshore winds and showers over northern New South Wales and the southern Queensland coast. Around the capitals tomorrow, partly cloudy in Brisbane, 24 degrees, mostly sunny in Sydney, 22, cool in Canberra and Hobart, 15 degrees, showers for Adelaide, 16 degrees, and Perth, the odd shower and the top of 20 degrees. And that is 7 News for now. Our next bulletin is 7 News at 6. I'm Angela Cox. Thanks so much for your company. See you tomorrow.